Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
We're jumping into the source material you shared with us today
Yeah.
and exploring, well, a really fascinating topic, AI helping doctors choose the best treatment options. Really looking at the possibilities with these smart tools.
It's definitely a landscape that's ripe for transformation.
Seems like it.
Your sources paint a pretty clear picture. Doctors today are grappling with just an overwhelming amount of information.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Think about it. You've got the patient's entire history, labs,
Yeah.
imaging scans,
Right.
plus this constant fire hose of the latest research, clinical guidelines, drug interactions. It's immense.
And trying to pull all that together to figure out the absolute best treatment for one specific person, especially if it's a complex case or maybe something, rare.
It's incredibly challenging. And the traditional way, well, it relies so much on the doctor's own experience.
And their ability to sort of manually navigate all that knowledge.
Which is constantly expanding. And, well, inevitably, that can lead to variations in care.
Right. Not because they're an expert.
Not at all. It's just no single person can possibly keep all that data perfectly sorted and cross-referenced, not for every single patient scenario.
Okay, so this feels like exactly the kind of problem AI could step into.
Pretty much.
The sources almost describe it like a highly intelligent assistant or maybe a powerful helping hand.
That's a good way to put it.
But how does it actually work? How does it help a doctor make that specific decision about treatment?
Well, the sources are quite clear on this. AI, and we're talking here specifically about things like machine learning.
Okay.
Algorithms that learn from data.
Right, without explicit programming.
Exactly. And also large language models, the kind of tech behind advanced chatbot.
Yeah.
These are tools to augment human capability. That's the key word.
Augment, so not replace.
Definitely not replace the doctor's judgment. It's about supporting it, providing insights. There's an anecdote in the sources about Dr. Kapoor, a geriatric specialist in Mumbai.
Yeah, I saw that.
He sees it exactly this way. He feels AI gives him better tools for making decisions, for better care. It empowers him.
That makes sense. Augmentation. So let's dig in a bit. How does the AI get to a useful suggestion? What's it processing?
Okay, so it starts by integrating a huge amount of data about the specific patient.
Like what?
Their genetic profile, their full medical history, lifestyle factors, maybe even their preferences about care.
So the really personal stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't stop there. It also analyzes data from, say, global clinical trials, the latest research papers, and really importantly, real-world patient outcomes from large data sets. What actually happened to similar patients?
Wow. So it's taking everything known about this patient and comparing it against basically everything known across the whole medical field.
Precisely. It sifts through these massive, complex data sets all at once.
Okay.
And by doing that, it can spot subtle patterns, correlations, potential outcomes, things that might be invisible to a human just reviewing charts.
Patterns a person might miss.
Or just couldn't possibly compute, given the scale. Insights from millions of data points.
That ability, finding those hidden links, that's where it gets really interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Can you give maybe a hypothetical example? What kind of pattern might it find?
Sure. Imagine a cancer patient. The AI looks at their specific genetic mutations, maybe protein expression in the tumor, age, past treatments.
Okay.
And it cross-references all that against outcomes from, say, tens of thousands of similar patients worldwide.
Right.
It might find that patients with this very specific, maybe rare combination of genetic markers, who also had a certain previous therapy, respond much better to a less common drug combination than the standard one.
Ah, so it finds that specific niche in the data.
Exactly. That subtle pattern that a doctor working alone just couldn't realistically uncover manually.
And this connects right back to that idea of personalized medicine you mentioned.
It does.
It sounds like AI, especially with genetics in the mix, just takes personalization to a whole new level.
Totally. Traditionally, personalized medicine might have been based on broader categories.
Yeah.
With AI, it's potentially tailoring treatment based on an individual's unique biological blueprint. Genetics are a big part of that.
And the benefits the sources mention.
Yeah, potentially significant benefits. Choosing the right drug, the right dose for that specific patient.
Which could mean
minimizing side effects, maximizing the therapeutic benefit, hopefully leading to, much better outcomes than a more one-size-fits-all approach.
That's powerful. And what's also fascinating is how this could sort of democratize expertise.
That's a really critical point, especially in contexts like, say, India, as highlighted in the sources.
Oh, so?
Well, these AI systems essentially distill insights from experts all over the world, their research, their clinical experience. So a doctor, maybe in a smaller town, who doesn't have immediate access to a top specialist for a rare condition, could still get treatment recommendations informed by that global pool of knowledge.
But the sources also said these recommendations aren't just theoretical ideals, right? They need to be practical.
Yes, exactly. Localization is absolutely key. The AI has to understand the local reality.
Meaning?
Meaning the specific resource constraints of that clinic. What drugs are actually available? What diagnostic tools?
Ah, okay. So it adapts.
It has to. It's about giving recommendations that are not just clinically sound, but actually feasible and achievable in that specific place. The best possible plan given the context.
Got it. And how does the doctor actually use these insights? Is it like a separate program they have to open?
The vision really is integration, usually through what are called clinical decision support systems, or CDSS.
CDSS.
Think of it like an interface, often built right into the electronic health record system the doctor uses every day.
Oh, so it's seamless.
That's the goal. As the doctor reviews the patient's chart, the AI does its analysis in the background.
And then?
Relevant, personalized suggestions or alerts might just pop up right there on the screen. Real-time guidance.
Within their normal workflow. That makes a huge difference for usability.
Absolutely.
Right.
It lets them instantly access that AI-powered analysis, that tailored plan, without having to switch gears or go to another system.
Okay, makes sense. Now, we often talk about empowering patients too. Could these tools help patients understand what the AI is suggesting to their doctor?
Yeah, that's another really interesting angle. LLM-powered tools, specifically designed for patients this time. They could complement the doctor's side. So after the doctor and patient discuss the AI-informed options, these tools could help the patient sort of digest that information.
How? Like explaining it simply?
Exactly. Providing clear, concise, personalized explanations about their condition, the recommended treatment, maybe even why a certain drug was suggested for their specific profile.
Translating the complex AI stuff into plain English?
Pretty much. The idea is to empower patients, give them the info they need for real, informed discussions with their doctor.
Making it more of a partnership.
Yes. And the sources stress, for this to work, especially somewhere diverse like India, these patient tools have to be culturally sensitive and easy to access.
Crucial points. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. The potential here feels, well, immense.
It really does.
Using AI to cut through all that data noise, find those subtle patterns, factor in genetics, it seems doctors could really move towards treatments that are truly targeted.
They're not just generally accepted, but precisely right for that individual.
Which could lead to treatments that are more effective, fewer side effects.
That's the hope. Better outcomes overall. It really paints a picture of healthcare becoming more personalized, more precise, significantly more effective.
So embracing these tools responsibly, integrating them thoughtfully, it could really empower healthcare professionals. So thinking about the listener, what does all this mean for you? Well, it could pave the way for a future where healthcare feels less, one size fits all, and more like a plan tailored just for your unique needs, giving you the best possible path to getting better.
But, given how vital that localization and cultural sensitivity piece is, for these tools to be truly effective and fair. It raises a big question for all of us to think about, doesn't it? What are the key challenges, human, infrastructure, systemic, that we need to tackle now to make sure this amazing technology can actually be integrated effectively and equitably so it benefits everyone everywhere in all these diverse healthcare settings around the world?